I want to share with you the reason why I don't go to Burger King anymore. And I know you're probably saying, well, that's a very clickbaity title. And you're damn right, it is. But actually, there's a very good reason why I don't go to Burger King, and you'll see why in a second. So a long, long time ago, right when the internet kind of just started coming out, it was fucking insane, right? I come from divorced parents. I live with my mom primarily, and I would just go see my dad on the weekends. My mom didn't have a computer or the internet, but my dad did. So obviously, I spent a lot of time by my dad's house being fascinated with the fucking internet. You have to understand that back then, it was like incredibly fucking mind-blowing that you could search anything, granted as long as I had a web page attached to it, and you were able to kind of find that information. And before I make it sound like I was an incredibly smart kid using it for library studies, well, I'm gonna fucking stop you right there. Yeah, no, I wasn't looking up the cure for cancer. Let's just say that. My dad had AOL, and if you're not familiar with AOL, it's called American Online. Every AOL account actually had a screen name, and I'm pretty sure I was very deep with my screen name when I came up with it. It was something like B&L Girl 17, you know, for my love of the Bare Naked Ladies, everyone's favorite 90s Canadian pop rock band. Yep. Anyway. The greatest thing for me on AOL was the fact that you had chat rooms. I was so used to, you know, talking to people in person. The idea of talking to somebody on the internet was fucking crazy. So the fact that there were chat rooms designated to anything that you may or may not like is kind of fucking amazing. There are chat rooms not only just for like specific things, say like movies or books or romance or whatever, but there are also chat rooms designated to the neighborhood or to the town that you were living in. My dad lived in a different neighborhood from me. So of course I went into the chat room that was designated to his neighborhood. And lo and behold, this is what happened. So ASL, also known as age, sex, and location, was kind of like the first thing to do when you go into these chat rooms. The first thing you say, instead of like, hi guys, my name is Tiffany, is you just literally just say a number, what your sex is, and where you're located. That's it. Of course, when you said female, you would get a response like that. On this particular occasion, I typed in my information, clicked send. About not even 30 seconds later, I get a barrage of IMs. The first IM I get is from a guy named Dave. Dave was incredibly eager to get to know me. Jude already emailed me with some glamour shots, two of his face, one of his full body, shirtless might I add, and his fucking car. This dude was not here to fuck around. He wanted to cut to the point. I kind of dug that. Plus he had a car. And I didn't know how to drive. It just made sense. Anyway, so I started talking to him. And of course, you know, he was interested to know where I was from, if I lived here, blah, blah, blah. But he also wanted to know what I looked like. Now, this is before my dad had a scanner. You had to describe yourself to the best of your abilities. So it was more like, you know, 5'7", 5'6", 5'5", 5'4", but 5'5" on a good day? Okay, great. Chemically treated toxic red hair? Check. Blue eyes. And then, of course, you have to describe your body type. As you can see, I'm a thicker milkshake. And thick, I mean thick with at least 10 C's following it. You know what I mean? I'm a big bitch. So how do I put that into words? I could say fat, but back then I had a fucking complex about it. So can't say that word. Plump? I'm not a hot dog. No. Hefty? Not a garbage bag. More to love? MySpace wasn't out yet, so I didn't even have that phrasing in my head. TBD. Dave was a fairly attractive man, around 25, significantly older than I was, but whatever, I digress. In any case, he asked me out on a date, and I said yes. And thinking that, like, you know, the date would be on a Friday, he said,
you know what? Do you mind, let's go on a date now? I really would love to get to know you.
So me, being the smart person I am, just gave him my dad's address and said, sure, pick me up there. In hindsight, I'm really surprised I'm not dead. So we didn't really discuss what our date was going to be, right? So I just assumed like, oh, we're probably going to go get some food, we'll probably maybe go to the movies, do bowling, I don't know, something of that variation. So he picked me up. As I got into his car, he said,
I have a great place for us to go. Let's go to Burger King.
So we drove to the local Burger King, and it was like around summertime or so. And I remember him parking the car and then saying to me,
I will be right back.
He gets back to the car, and I noticed when he opened the door, he only had one bag of food and a drink in his hand, right? And the bag was a kid's meal.
Do you mind if I eat?
What?
Do you mind if I eat?
Oh. I thought we were going out to eat.
Oh.
And I could tell on his face that he knew he fucked up, but he didn't give a shit. So I guess going on a date means going to Burger King, he can eat food, and for me to go fuck myself. But again, I digress. He opens up the bag and takes out one burger. And as he was taking it out, he starts unwrapping it and he starts to exhale deeply.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah, sure. What's wrong?
Can you spit on it?
What?
Can you spit on this?
At this point, I start fucking laughing. Who says that? Who says that? This guy has a really funny sense of humor.
I'm being serious.
When he started to say that he was being serious, I kind of stopped laughing and I really just like looked intently into his face and was like, are you kidding me?
No, can you please spit in my burger? I used to be really overweight, and my girlfriend helped me by losing weight by spitting in my food, and she would force me to eat it. I really, really like when women spit in my food. The spit tastes so good.
Now you're probably saying, Theresa, I'm pretty sure you told him to go fuck himself and you walked home. Well, you see, I know. I feel your judgment. Listen, okay, hear me out. The pathetic side of my brain kicked in and I felt incredibly bad for him. Who am I to deny him to eat food? Of course, I spent the next 2 minutes trying to rationalize in my brain why this was normal. Meanwhile, my brain was telling me that I was a fucking idiot. And while I tried to rationalize deep down inside that this man needed to eat and I was the one to help him out, my brain just kept saying,
this is weird. Get out. Abort, abort, abort.
But me being the gullible, fucking pathetic Hufflepuff that I am, I decided, well, one time couldn't hurt.
I haven't eaten in days. I'm so hungry. Please feed me.
Fuck me. So I brought the burger to my face, and you know that like scene in Jaws where Hooper gets into the shark tank and he's trying to spit into the goggles and he's like, I don't have any spit? Well, yeah, that pretty much happened to me. I was so fucking nervous at this point that I didn't know what to do because my brain was trying to tell me,
just fucking get out of the card, beach.
and I couldn't fucking do it. Instead, I was sitting there with a disgusting Burger King burger 3 inches from my fucking face trying to spit on it. Needless to say, I didn't have any fucking spit. But Dave thought of that. What did he do? Dave gave me his Diet Coke. Fun fact about me, I don't like soda. I fucking hate soda. I despise it. Never liked it as a kid, don't like it as an adult. So of course, now I had to suck down some fucking Diet Coke to try to fucking produce something. Of course, I did, because Diet Coke is fucking disgusting. And yeah, come for me in the comments. Diet Coke is disgusting. Fucking fight me. I don't give a shit. Just before I was about to spit, I looked back at him and I said, are you sure you want this?
Yes, I'm so hungry.
And not to make it sound all incredibly dramatic,
Too late.
I spit in it. I spit on his fucking burger, closed the bun, and handed it back to him. And then I proceeded to watch him moan pleasurably while eating it. The way he licked his fingers almost made me throw up. Like, as soon as he was done with the burger, he would just suck each finger. That's why I don't like when people suck their fingers. I get freaked out from it. PTSD much? Yes, please. Party for one over here. So now I'm thinking, okay, now we can resume with our normal date. No. He reaches his little paw back into that bag and he takes out a box of fries. He turned to me and he said,
So...
And before he could even fucking finish that statement, I was like, no, I can't spit on your fries.
But please, you can't just eat a burger without fries.
And while I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly, I think in this occasion I can say no. But of course he gave me those puppy dog eyes and I immediately fucking started to feel bad thinking that this man hasn't eaten in days and that I was his only fucking savior. So I brought those fries about 3 inches from my face and I spit on them. I spit right in the middle of them.
Do you mind spitting on them more?
What?
Think of it like ketchup.
No. At that point, I could feel his fucking annoyance. Like a little goblin, he snatched back the fries and he just started eating them. And every fry, he moaned in pleasure, as if he was getting the best blowjob of his life. And I remember kind of looking at him and watching him and then realizing that I was about to throw up. So I shifted my body where I just stared outside the passenger window at nothing, hoping that if I blink enough, maybe somebody can rescue me. That didn't happen. So once he was done with everything, he looked over at me and said,
Oh, that was great. Oh, I'm so full now.
I'm glad.
Listen, I gotta do something with my sister. I promised I'd help her out. Do you mind if I just take you back home? By the way, I got something for you.
Did that reached into the bag, took out a Burger King's kids meal toy, took my hand, presented it like this, plopped the Burger King kids toy in it, closed my hand on top of it, and then kissed me in the middle of my forehead.
This is for you.
Let me describe what the toy looked like. Okay, so back in 2003, that's when this story actually happened. Sinbad came out, right? I think it was like The Adventures of Sinbad or something like that. The animated tale. Burger King had licensing properties on that motherfucker and created a little toy line. So the toy in question was actually this toy right here. It was basically like a little mat. And I wish I had this fucking toy, but I got rid of it, obviously, for these reasons and more. It was basically like a little map that you kind of like connect together, kind of like Legos in a weird way, right? And then you would put the little ship on it and it was supposed to kind of spin around on the map. That was my present for this date. Honestly, probably one of the nicer things that I've gotten when I was like in my dating period, but you know, whatever, that's neither here or there at this point. I remember I kind of just like slowly shifted and just stared straight forward and didn't blink for the drive home. I was terrified and horrified of the whole fucking thing. And all I kept thinking was, wow, I've been pretty much had. There was no date. I was just used for him to eat. Awesome. Anyway, so he drops me home. He tries to kiss me goodbye. And I was like, my dad's watching. And I just fucking ran my little piggy ass inside and fucking called it a day. Now, here's the funny thing about that. A couple of days kind of go by and literally this is the only thing that I was fucking thinking about. I literally told everybody that I met about the story. And I know you're probably saying, wow, that's really embarrassing. I give 0 fucks. And also, it was incredibly strange, and I've never had that happen to me before or ever heard about that, so I was just wondering if this was a normal fucking thing. Turns out, no, it's not. It's not normal. It's fucking crazy. But the next time that I was at my dad's house, which was about like a week later or so, I was online, you know, sitting in chat rooms or whatever, and I get an IM. I got an IM from Dave. And he just writes to me like,
hi, sexy.
And it was like that fucking typing thing that people did in the 2000s where it was like capital, lowercase, like fucking stupid ass people did that. Anyway, he did that. Before I could even say anything, he said,
you know, I really had a really great time the other day, and I was hoping that we could have another date again.
So then I just started to imagine us going to an Outback Steakhouse where he would order a bloomin' onion and I would have to spit on it. Before I could even fucking respond, he then sends me another IM, and I shit you not, he says,
would you be able to shit in a ham sandwich for me?
What? No. 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 And that's the reason why I don't go to Burger King anymore. Yep.